Hi, you're watching Turner Classic Movies, and I'm Eddie Muller. We are in the midst of the final night of our spotlight on the Roaring Twenties, and we have on tap another film emblematic of the era, one featuring another megastar flapper, Colleen Moore. From First National Pictures in 1929, Why Be Good? Now, not unlike the previous film, Our Dancing Daughters, Why Be Good deals with a party girl who has her virtue tested. Moore plays the girl in question, fancifully named Pert Kelly, who works in a department store where she unknowingly falls for the boss's son. And the son loves her too, but his father is suspicious that she's no good girl, but one of those dance-crazy jazz babies. For Moore, it's a return to the kind of role that made her a star in 1923's Flaming Youth. In fact, Why Be Good was actually advertised as Flaming Youth 1929 model. 6 years had passed, though, and this depiction of the decadent decade has a softer edge, with Moore only pretending to be a bad girl who drinks. Why Be Good captures the tone of the 1920s perhaps as well as any movie made during the period. The dresses are slim and short, and the set dressing is filled with sleek Art Deco lines. As for Moore's love interest, he's played by Neil Hamilton, who would later gain fame on TV, playing Commissioner Gordon in the 1960s series Batman. Hamilton was a busy actor at this time, appearing in 6 features in 1929 alone. The cast is chock full of familiar faces, including some that weren't yet famous. You can spot Jean Harlow, Misha Auer, and Andy Devine in bit parts. But this is all Colleen Moore's show, and it marked the end of an era for the star. It was her last silent picture. She'd soon make 2 sound films before opting for an early retirement. She'd make a brief return to the screen in the mid-1930s, but the fire would never again burn as hot as it does in this film. Here she is from 1929, Colleen Moore in Why Be Good? For a long time, the only part of Why Be Good that survived was the synchronized soundtrack. The picture was considered lost. About 20 years ago, a 35mm nitrate print was discovered in Italy, and it was restored thanks to the Vitaphone Project, a grassroots group of film fans led by our good friend, the late Ron Hutchinson. It is dedicated to restoring lost Vitaphone shorts and features from this specific era. Vitaphone was a sound process employed by Warner Brothers during the late 20s. It was used for the first major talking picture, The Jazz Singer. It was not, however, nearly as practical as the sound on film process that would ultimately replace it. Vitaphone required that the film and a record with the soundtrack be played simultaneously. The turntable for the records and the film projector were run by a single motor. It's complicated, with lots of room for error. During the transition to sound, movies like Why Be Good included a soundtrack and sound effects, but no dialogue. By the time 1930 rolled around, even this type of silent sound picture hybrid was becoming obsolete. Next, we have a talking picture about the 1920s, but this one was shot in the 1960s and stars Julie Andrews and Mary Tyler Moore.